I stole this video idea from Possessed by Horror. As soon as I saw this title that she uploaded, I knew I'm gonna make this video as well. And she stated that she took this idea from the book Leo YouTube channel. So yeah, this is not a new concept, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be reading bad reviews of my favorite films. Obviously, this video is going to be kind of like a personal video. I hope you still enjoy it. We are going to be talking about 3 giallo films, 1 full moon film, and 1 just kind of random cult classic. If you are not new to this channel, you might be able to guess what 5 films we're going to be talking about. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be on Letterboxd reading either half-star or 1-star reviews of my favorites. Okay, I do have to say, I don't like when people just review a movie on Letterboxd, but it's like 5 words. I don't know, sometimes they're funny, but I'm like, what is this? I guess it's like a comment section, not really a review. But anyway, first is Baby Oopsie from 2021. Oh my lord, will she ever shut up about Baby Oopsie? Probably not. I'm trying to read bad reviews that actually have substance to them, and I'm not really finding any yet. No fucking stars deserved. Favorite character died. Horrible production, horrible movie, repetitive vibe, boom sound to build suspense. Perfect film if you want to watch a satire movie to make fun of with friends. I feel like some people aren't understanding the purpose. My God. I knew this movie was going to be garbage. Full Moon does nothing new anymore, and every single one of their movies are cheap and disappointing. In the early 90s, they made legitimate movies, but now they're nothing more than a joke, and they run with that image. This movie has it all. Bad acting, terrible effects, and awful everything else. Once you see the CGI blinking on the doll, you know what kind of bullshit you're in for. I know that folks say they're low-budget movies, but like I said above, they made actual movies with low budgets that felt bigger than they were. Nothing is good about this, and Full Moon should be ashamed. Please stop making shitty movies, Full Moon, for the love of all that is holy. I agree that, like, Full Moon isn't that great at the moment, but I think that Baby Oopsie is a shining gem amongst their modern output. Like, I think Baby Oopsie is good given, like, this day and age of Full Moon. I agree that the CGI blinking on the doll is not ideal. Like, I agree. It's funny that I'm agreeing with a lot of what they say, but I would give it like 4.5 or 5 stars, and they gave a half of a star. While I have to give this 1 star, I will say it's one of those so bad it's good type of movies. I really do appreciate when a movie is atrocious but still entertaining due to the terrible acting and special effects. Reminds me of Ginger Dead Man. Thanks, Big Pooper 69. Hated every second. I had hopes this movie would be bad but good in an endearing way. However, it was just a hard watch. What was hard about it, though? Hello, you want to get my lappy? Do you want to be a lap boy? He never does this. Are you a lap cat? I hate this annoying fucking character so much. A baby saying random swear words is actually not funny or scary. Whoever had the idea to make a series revolving around this shitty Chucky knockoff needs to be fired. I'm so upset there are 2 more of these. Please kill this series off, please. The demonic toys were never good at any point. So, oh God, so painfully millennial. What do you mean? I really thought that the negative reviews of Oopsie would hopefully be a little more critical, like constructive, but people are just saying, I hated it, it sucks, and that was it. So let's move on to the next film. Oh, next we're gonna be talking about Gummo from 1997. Y'all know I've been talking about Gummo lately, so this has 29,000 reviews, so we will see. I haven't watched it, but it has cat death, so it's terrible. Y'all are actually mentally ill if you like this shit. Get help. Yo, I'm bored as fuck. This is straight up not enjoyable. I hated this with a passion, but wanted to see it through to the end. Just don't understand why this movie was made, because I think she or he meant to say, I don't understand what message it sends out. If it's to highlight what goes on in small town USA, it hasn't highlighted it, it's just exploited to the core. If you're supposed to feel sympathy for any of these characters, it failed. I get the feeling that a lot of the 5-star ratings are people who are trying to think they are deep or something. Any movie that shows animal cruelty for the sake of the art crosses the line as well. An absolute piece of shit movie. The editing and somewhat plotless style of this movie was super cool, and I was a fan of how uncomfortable this everyday life was. Totally understand how someone can give this a 5, but personally, not for me. I couldn't get into it at all. Fuck that spaghetti scene. A lot of the reviews are just saying that they kill cats in the story, and so they don't like the movie. This is very close to the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. It has been on my list since I was in middle school of shocking movies to watch. The only thing shocking is that it got released at all. It felt like deleted scenes of another movie put together. I like pretentious shit. I like avant-garde movies. This was trying so hard to be something, and it feels like wannabe John Waters. Nothing in here is disturbing, shocking, or interesting. Plotless, lifeless, awful, garbage. Nice 4K transfer from Criterion though. Plotless, lifeless, awful, garbage is, I would agree. Okay, we'll just close out with one of the little quips, the little quip reviews. How the fuck do you make a movie inbred? Everyone is very, very mad about the cats. But, you know, but then I have to remind myself, like, a lot of these people probably aren't coming from the horror sphere to here. So maybe they're just not used to animals getting killed in movies. Okay, let's move on to some giallo films. We're gonna start with 1987's Delirium. Went in expecting my usual experience with giallo. Stylish, I can see the appeal, but not my thing. But this is just shit. I mean, it's everything I dislike about giallo. A boring murder mystery that is just a bunch of red herrings, a bunch of women being objectified in really sleazy ways, them being murdered while doing so in a way that makes you think the director was at least half-masked, and terrible dubbing. While most of the other giallo films recommended to me, I can basically see the style or skill or appeal of them somewhere, this is just a poorly made piece of crap that made me need a shower. The only remotely interesting thing about it was the killer's perspective, showing his victims distorted into monsters. But as with most giallo murder mystery stuff, this amounts to nothing. It is just a gimmick that is never explained or pays off in any way and doesn't even mesh with the ending. What a piece of crap. Fair, I guess, but I just don't think that person likes giallo to begin with. This one was incredibly boring. It's such an odd film. You have a model getting stalked by some maniac who kills her friends and starts sending her pictures of the bodies. You would think that such a premise would be interesting, yet it doesn't feel like anything actually remotely interesting occurs within this film. Most of the time I was just desperately waiting for something exciting. I found myself fighting sleep throughout it. The most exciting scene in the entire film takes place in a department store. Agree. That will last about 10 minutes before we get back to the same old boring shit. It felt like a bland, generic giallo film without any of the fun. It all leads to this stupid ass climax. A genuine fuck you escaped my lips with that Degrassi High style freeze frame at the end. I'm sorry, my worlds just collided because I'm a huge Degrassi fan. And I just never thought I'd see anyone mention Degrassi in a giallo review. Yes, it did have a Degrassi style freeze frame at the end. It is the same exact year that Degrassi was airing on TV, so it checks out. I'm such at odds and ends with Lamberto's films. I don't think I found anything remotely close to the quality of Demons. To his credit, I'm actually impressed with how little stuff actually happens in this one. Oh, so you're being sarcastic. Okay. Somehow he managed to waste my damn time for an entire they were meant to say hour and 30 minutes. And I didn't even notice. See, now I'm looking back at this film and I'm like, is it boring? And I just can't tell because everything's beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna read the last little bit of this one. This movie just has a sleazy tone that really drags the whole movie down with it. And it's a shame because I actually like quite a number of giallo movies I've seen up to this point. I feel like if they actually utilized the interesting idea of seeing from the killer's POV more, it would have made the experience a more enjoyable time. It's funny that, I mean, the movie is sleazy, yes, and maybe I've watched it so many times that I've like gotten really used to it, but I reviewed this movie here on YouTube and I was talking about how like Serena Grandi actually isn't nude very much in the film because she like, it was like part of her contract or something like that. So I feel like the movie wanted to be even sleazier than it was. Next up is Fatal Frames from 1996. This is a very late era giallo. A lot of people hate it. It is a murder mystery and it's got a very distinct style to it. And it's very long and very outlandish. So yeah, a lot of people hate it for a variety of reasons, which I already am like pretty familiar with. Fatal Frames is a festering pile of shit. It's a self-serving ego trip from the talentless, that's so harsh, husband-wife duo of Al Festa and Stefania Stella. How they got money for this is a mystery. How they sold this to Donald Pleasance, Linnea Quigley, David Warbeck, and Angus Scrimm is mind-boggling. I guess a paycheck is a paycheck. Al Festa has 4 directing credits to his name, and it's no surprise. Nothing worked. The stupid blue, red, and piss yellow colors that ran rampant through the shots gave me a legit headache. Oh, see, and I love that. I love the colors. I felt myself staring at the screen with my mouth open. Same. I checked how far into it I was, and I only had watched 20 minutes before losing brain cells. There is no way to talk about Stefania Stella in a positive manner. She's one of the worst actresses to ever appear on film. She didn't have the talent nor the look. She looked like a middle-aged wax statue of a former Playboy model. Not only could Stella not get her lines out, her face didn't move. I've never seen anyone not emote like that. I don't know if something happened to damage her face, but it was painful to watch. This is bottom of the barrel movie making. I fucking hate this movie with a passion. So they didn't like the colors or the acting or Stefania. You get used to Stefania once you watch the movie like 10 times or so. She becomes less abrasive. Oh my God, this might legitimately be the worst movie ever made. Screw a heart valve replacement. It's the movie that killed Donald Pleasance. The dialogue, unintelligible. The plot, who could give a single fuck? No, it wasn't shot in 3D. That's just the insufferable cinematography assaulting your eyeballs with distorted reds and blues. Why y'all be hating the color? Is this why movies don't have colors in them? Because people hate it? 99% of the budget was earmarked solely for hairstyling. Oh yeah, there's some great hair. Terry Schiavo would have helmed a better project. Oh my God. If that wasn't enough, Stefania Stella gives the worst performance ever committed to celluloid, and she is absolutely terrifying to look at. She's undoubtedly haunting my dreams tonight. Contemplating conducting brain surgery on myself as a desperate attempt to wipe this movie from my memory. Do not watch unless you want to hate yourself. I feel like even when I'm laying into a movie, I'm still saying like why I hate it, and then not just like talking about how I want a lobotomy. We'll do one more Fatal Frames, even though like this could be a whole video in and of itself. I thought I already saw it, but I was wrong. This movie is so bad. I would have remembered seeing it. This is a vanity project, which is fine, but the actress is clearly the worst that I have ever witnessed. She is truly awful. You know what? Let me pause here. I feel like I kind of felt off-put by Stefania. Well, I definitely felt off-put by Stefania the first time I watched this movie. But I don't know. For some reason, reading all of the conversation about this film and seeing all these people express their distaste for Stefania, I think over time it caused me to look at her with a different perspective. It's just like trying to understand what it is that's so awful. And now I sort of watch it with sympathy and like a different kind of respect, because I mean, she did star in a movie. Have you? As a giallo movie, this is the joke. No understanding of what is a giallo, how they work, etc. As a thriller, this movie is a joke. No knowledge of how to make a movie. As a music video, this movie is 130 minutes of what could pass as a hard rock music video. Yeah, you're right. So everything feels like MTV gone wrong. But each sequences that need to work to make the movie engaging and or interesting is filmed and edited as a music video, making the cinematic language obsolete. That's an interesting perspective. It is like presented like a music video, and that's what Al Vesta did direct music videos as well. And it does kind of make me think of Too Beautiful to Die. That was also a very music video style movie, which I like. Like, I like the experimentation. And we are going to wrap this up reading some bad reviews on The Strange Vice of Mrs. Wardh from 1971. At least from where I'm seeing, this is a widely loved movie. I have read and heard some of the criticisms of the film, you know, style over substance, blah, blah, blah. But I'm interested to see what we get into today. Real animal cruelty. A fish is speared. Within 5 minutes, giggling women tear each other's clothes off at a party while onlookers chuckle, because that's what the director thinks happens at parties, apparently. Well, have you ever been in a party in Italy in 1971? The following 92 minutes contain the director somehow managing to cover up every part of the main character's body except for her boobs, and then mashing 1 minute of an overly confected, incomprehensible plot onto the end of the film. Okay, I'm just gonna stop there because that one has a lot of spoilers, but it seems like they did not like the boobs. Tricked again into watching a terrible, overrated, boring giallo with bright red blood and laughable dubbing. Donk. That's what giallo is, honey. A black gloved hand, a gleaming blade, naked women, bad acting. All the essential ingredients for a giallo are present and correct. If you are an Italian actor in this sort of film, you have to wear a deadpan expression most of the time, or sometimes a lecherous one. If you are an actress, then it's deadpan or fearful. Yeah. Again, I found watching a giallo simply impossible and went to Wikipedia to read the plot instead. Okay, so you didn't watch it and you gave it 1 star. It's the usual plot of someone becoming a psycho coupled with police disinterest. I know the drill. Well, it sounds like it's not for you, honey. They do make a good point. And that the women, yeah, they're either deadpan or fearful. And especially Edwige. And that's something like, that's why I want to see more of her movies. Because between All the Colors of the Dark and Strange Vice, she just always looks terrified. And that's just the only way we get to see her. Too misogynistic. Sleazy cinema. Not a good giallo. What is a good giallo? Deep red. Okay, and after that, we're getting into the 1.5 star territory. So there's really not a lot of negative reviews on that movie. I hope this was fun. It turned out not being like as funny as I thought it would be. But I hope you enjoyed anyway. Personally, like, someone doesn't become my enemy just because they don't like a movie that I like, and I don't necessarily think they're wrong or anything like that, or that their opinion is wrong. I think it's really interesting. Like, I love talking to people about Oopsie and Fatal Frames, primarily because those are so polarizing, so easy to hate. And I just think it's a fun conversation, you know? And at the end of the day, there is still like a community. Like, I still feel camaraderie with you people because, well, some of them didn't watch the movie. But like, we all sat and gave this movie a chance and went through this. So in a way, we've had like a similar experience. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, it's like, oh, you've seen it too. Like, we've both seen it. Like, it's okay if you didn't like it and I did like it or whatever. I always do have fun reading the good, the mid, and the bad reviews of any movie. Like, it would be so boring if we all felt the same way about every single movie, right? So anyway, hope you enjoyed. And until next time, ciao!